Welcome to 2023, to this place and to this month in which we search to find our center. These are the words of Daniel Budd. Come to this place, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of learning, all seekers after what is true, all who seek a community of compassion and diversity. Come to this place, whoever you are, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times and you're too busy and you don't have the time. Come to this place, whoever you are, lovers of wisdom, lovers of humanity, lovers of beauty. Come to this place where a love we do not make surrounds us and lifts us and nurtures us. Come to this place, whoever you are. Ours is not a community of despair, but of hope, not a place of judging, but of thanksgiving, not a place of certainty, but of searching. Come to this place, whoever you are. Come, yet again, come.
Good morning. Welcome to the new year at Unitarian Universalist Church West. And welcome to this time after all the glitter and lights and holidays, and to this time of exploring the theme of finding our center. Throughout this month, we'll be looking for ways to return to ourselves and to ground ourselves in a place of inner knowing and truth. And isn't this the perfect way to start the new year outright, by gathering in community, whether in person or online? First, as we gather, let us acknowledge that the history of what we call Wisconsin includes the tragic treatment of the indigenous peoples who were careful stewards of the land from before the first European settlers arrived. Those of us who are not indigenous benefit from that tragic history. We also acknowledge our need to address racism, which continues to lead to the violent deaths of Black and indigenous peoples. We know that anti-Black racism and settler colonialism perpetuate inequalities, injustices, poverty, and exclusion in U.S. society. We commit ourselves to becoming an anti-racist faith community dedicated to equity and racial justice. My name is Colleen Grusk, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. I'm also a member of the choir. If you happen to be visiting for the first time today, we hope that you will feel right at home. If you'd like to connect further or ask a question, you can talk to us after the service. You can also send us an email at visitor@uucw.org. You can also use the welcome side of the yellow form that you received when you entered the sanctuary. So last Sunday, we did a small experiment with returning to the sharing of personal joys and concerns out loud during the service. Reverend Julie would love to hear your feedback on this. Today, we'll be using the yellow forms again. We'll be going back to that for now. So you can use that to share your joys and sorrows. You can place it in the offering baskets later, or anytime during the service. You can also set it over on the side table, and you can also light a candle there. Our religious education program returns to normal this morning. The nursery is open, and after story time, children grade 8 and younger will be invited to head off with their leaders downstairs. And all this space here on the carpet here at the front we have is also available to you. There are activities over on the side table. The service is also streamed into the community room, so you can watch it from there as well. After the service, we'll have coffee and social time. And all are invited also to stay and browse the games and puzzles exchange in the community room. This is a great time to get to know people or rekindle a pre-COVID friendship. And I will be there as well if you want to speak with me as a board representative. Please let me know if I can answer any questions. We just have a couple more announcements, which are also printed in your order of service. There'll be the Healing Circle on the 19th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. This will be regarding feelings with the last ministerial transitions. It's vital that these feelings have a place to be shared in order for us to move forward. Your feelings are welcome and will be heard and honored. There will also be storytelling for all ages on Saturday, January 21st from 3 to 5 p.m. You can hear some stories that have been banned by school boards for content related to diversity or race. There will also be age-appropriate conversation and singing and snacks. This fundraising event was offered during our auction, and fees will go to the general UUCW budget. Admission is $15 for adults and free for children and youth. It really is a privilege to gather together and to attend to things that matter in life. You all are welcome here. Now we will light our chalice. The flaming chalice is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. It holds the center of our faith, reminding us of all that binds us together in the ways of truth, justice, and love. Today's chalice lighting words are those of Marielle Cleary. I invite you to join me in a responsive reading. I'll read the italics, and you can read the plain text. Knowing that we do not always live up to our best expectations of ourselves, let us in quietness seek the good within, which some call the inner light, and some a spark of the divine. Knowing that we live in a society which falls far short of the ideal, let us in quietness resolve to do one thing this week, to aid those suffering from want and injustice. Knowing that the earth is our home and that we have too often abused and poisoned it, let us in quietness consider how we might be part of making it more healthful for all living things. Knowing that each of us has some sorrow or anxiety hidden within, let us consider in quietness how we might reach out to one another with our smiles, our hand clasps, and our encouraging words. With these words, acknowledging both our shortcomings and our promises, we light our chalice.
We were so good at singing around together last week that we're going to do it again. Come, come, whoever you are. If you need the words, they're at number 188 in the gray hymnal. Because of today's topic, it's especially important to add another line to this round, which wasn't of my doing. It's become a very popular thing to do. It's something that you might like to just sing over and over again if that's what you prefer to do, or switch to it whenever you'd like. That line is, though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. And I'll let Ruben show us how that sounds.
Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, though you've broken our vows 1,000 times.
So that's the drone, and you can just sing that if you want. But why don't you rise and we'll sing Come, Come, Whoever You Are. We're going to sing it through once together, and then I'm going to break you into a round starting over there, okay?
Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, though we've broken our vows 1,000 times. Though we've broken our vows 1,000 times, 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 broken our vows 1,000 times, though we've 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 broken our vows 1,000 times, 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 though we've broken our vows 1,000.
Good morning. I'm Dave Cicero, Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UUCW. My pronouns are he and his. So today I'll be actually sharing a mashup of 3 books that remind us to recenter or forgive ourselves, especially when we think we've fallen short of expectations. Now, at the start of a new year, I, like many other people, take stock of what I've done, where I'm going, and make some resolutions, firm decisions to do or not do something differently, to change part of who I am. And then, in the midst of trying to change part of what makes me me, I'm reminded that I am human. This is by Susan Verdi. I am always learning. I have endless curiosity. I make discoveries. I have a feeling of wonder. I'm amazed by nature. I'm finding a way and choosing my path on this incredible journey. I have big dreams. I am human. But being human means I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I could hurt others with my words, my actions, even my silence. I could be hurt too. I could be fearful of things I don't yet understand and timid to try something new. But then I remind myself that because I am human, I can make choices. A poor choice can become a better choice with thoughtfulness. A bad day can become a great day with kindness. Yet, choosing to do better doesn't always mean that we do. Because we're human and imperfect, we're bound to fail sometimes. Our RE teachers remind students of this whenever we review class covenants, which are promises or resolutions that we make together. But when we forget or don't live up to our promises, it's good to remember that tomorrow is a brand new day. This is by Davina Bell. Perhaps you didn't mean to make that quite unfortunate mistake. Or maybe you were feeling mad and were on purpose very bad. I know your world is feeling gray. But it won't always be this way. And everyone alive can say they've felt the way you do today. Often there's a reason why things started great, but went awry. I'm here to say it's all okay. Tomorrow is a brand new day. This hurt won't last. And good or bad, the things you do are all part of being you, of learning how to take your boat on stormy seas and stay afloat. That line reminded me of Reverend Julie's first worship service here, I think, during our water communion. Now, when we aren't as good as we'd hoped, it can be easy to get down on ourselves. I often wonder why it's so hard to forgive myself, and hard to remember that we're all loved for who we are and not for what it is that we do. And this is why I chose the story bits I'm sharing today. I'll finish with a message of hope and encouragement from Tomorrow, I'll Be Brave by Jessica Hitch. We're going to get a new mic. Check. Okay, try this. Tomorrow, I'll be adventurous. I'll play and explore. I'll never make or learn or try, or I will, I'll read that again. I'll make or learn or try something I've never done before. Tomorrow, I'll be confident. I'll be proud of all I know and thankful for how much you've helped me grow. Tomorrow, I'll be brave. There's nothing I can't do. I won't be scared, but if I am, I know that I have you. Tomorrow, I'll be all the things I tried to be today. And if I wasn't one of them, I know that it's okay. But now it's time to rest. And tomorrow, I'll be all these things, or at least I'll try my best. So trying again, or not doing again, for a wise creature once said, do or do not. There is no try. But trying again is what we humans do. So let today be another day for discovering who we are and where we are in the world. I now invite Isaac to come on up and light our Ari lantern. I know he has a little magic in his fingertips. And I invite you to join me in singing our children's recessional while those children with us today and youth head off to religious education classes. We'll meet in the lobby. The words are in your order of service. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go. As you go, may joy surround you. As you go, go in peace. Know our love is with you always. As you go, as you go.
Good morning. I'm Scott Kapishke. Scott Kapishke. The turning of the year is, for some folks, a time to reflect and to make plans or resolutions for the future. It can be a great time to try to sum up one's life so far as a guide for looking ahead. I'd like to share some excerpts from an article written by Anne Lamott in 2015. In that article, she shares everything she knows as of that day, and she lists 14 things. We've put the link to the article featured in Salon magazine in the order of service in case you'd like to refer to the whole thing, as I'm sharing just a few of them. Here's what Anne Lamott knows. I'm going to be 61 years old in 48 hours. Wow, I thought I was only 47. But looking over the paperwork, I see that I was born in 1954. My inside self does not have an age, although I can't help mentioning as an aside that it might have been useful had I not followed the skincare rules of the 60s, i.e., get as much sun as possible while slathered in baby oil. Anyway, I thought I might take the opportunity to write down every single thing I know as of today. Number 1, all truth is a paradox. Life is a precious, unfathomably beautiful gift, and it is impossible here on the incarnational side of things. It has been a very bad match for those of us who were born extremely sensitive, and it is filled with heartbreaking sweetness and beauty, floods and babies and acne and Mozart all swirled together. Number 2, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. Number 3, there is almost nothing outside of you that will help in any kind of lasting way unless you are waiting for an organ. You can't buy, achieve, or date it. This is the most horrible truth. Number 4, everyone is screwed up, broken, clingy, and scared. Even the people who seem to have it more or less together. They are much more like you than you would believe. So try not to compare your insides to their outsides. Also, you can't save, fix, or rescue any of them, or get any of them sober. But radical self-care is quantum and radiates out into the atmosphere like a little fresh air. It's a huge gift to the world. When people respond by saying, well, isn't she full of herself? Smile obliquely, like Mona Lisa, and make both of you a nice cup of tea. Number 8, families. Hard, hard, hard. No matter how cherished and astonishing they may also be. At family gatherings where you suddenly feel homicidal or suicidal, remember that in half of all cases, it's a miracle that this annoying person even lived. Earth is forgiveness school. You might as well start at the dinner table. That way you can do this work in comfortable pants. Number 10, grace. Spiritual WD-40. Water wings. The mystery of grace is that God loves Dick Cheney and me exactly as much as he or she loves your grandchild. Go figure. The movement of grace is what changes us, heals us and our world. To summon grace, say, help, and then buckle up. Grace is not going to look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but the phone will ring, or the mail will come, and then against all odds, you will get your sense of humor about yourself back. Laughter really is carbonated holiness, even if you are sick of me telling you. Number 14, death. Wow. So, well, effing hard to bear when the few people you cannot live without die. You will never get over these losses and are not supposed to. That person will live fully again in your heart at some point and make you smile at the most inappropriate times. But their absence will also be a lifelong nightmare of homesickness for you. All truth is a paradox. Grief, friends, time, and tears will heal you. Tears will bathe and baptize and hydrate you and the ground you walk on. We are on holy ground. Hard to believe, but the truest thing I know. I think that's it. Everything I know. I wish I had shoehorned in what E.L. Doctorow said about writing. It's like driving at night with the headlights on. You can only see a little ways ahead of you, but you can make the whole journey that way. I love that, because it's true about everything we try. I wish I had slipped in what Ram Dass said, that when all is said and done, we're just all walking each other home. Oh well, another time. God bless you all good.
God bless us all in all our screwed up, stingy, broken, holy humanness. I offer these prayerful words by Vanessa Southern to guide us into and through a time of quietness and reflection. Even this is enough. Please join me in the spirit of meditation. So much undone, so much to do, so much to heal in us and the world. So much to acquire: a meal, a healthy body, a fit one, a lover, a job, a better job, proof that we have and are enough just around the corner of now. And up against it, the reality of all that falls short and the limits of today. We honor the limits. If your body won't do what it used to do, for right now, let it be enough. If your mind won't stop racing or can't think of the word, let it be enough. If you are here, utterly alone and in despair, be all that here with us. If today you cannot sing because your throat hurts or you don't have the heart for music, be silent. When the offering plate goes around, if you don't have the money to give or the heart to give, let it pass. The world won't stop spinning on her axis if you don't rise to all occasions today. Love won't cease to flow in your direction. Your heart won't stop beating. All hope won't be lost. You are part of the plan for this world's salvation. Of that I have no doubt. The world needs its oceans of people striving to be good, to carry us to the shores of hope and wash fear from the beachheads and cleanse all wounds so they can heal. But oceans are big, and I'm sure there are parts that don't feel up to the task of the whole some days. Rest if you must. Then, like the swimmer lying on her back who floats, or the hawk carried on cushions of air. Rest in pews made to hold weary lives in space carved out for doing of nothing much, but being. Perhaps then you will feel in your bones, in your weary heart, the aching, healing sense that this is enough, even this. That we are enough. You are enough. Enough. For these and all the meditations of our hearts unspoken in this hour, I say, Amen. So take a moment to bring yourself out of the quiet, back to this time and place, and let's sing again. One of my favorite lines in our dear hymnal is the last line of this song, I said yes to love. It reminds me of the last lines in Ellen Bass's poem, The Thing Is, where she writes, you think, how can a body withstand this? Then you hold life like a face between your palms, a plain face, no charming smile, no violet eyes, and you say, yes, I will take you, I will love you again. So if you like and are able, please stand to sing number 6, just as long as I have breath.
Still with all I need each day.
Though you've broken your vows, come. Yet again, come. You have probably already heard everything I want to say this morning in the text of the songs and the readings and the story. Still, it's my job to deliver a message. And since there's always value in saying things again, particularly from or with a different voice, I hereby resolve to proceed, if that's okay with y'all. I said in the description of today's service that each promise or resolution we make is made in the service of some vision. And even when we fall short, the intention that lay at the core of that vision remains. And that intention might change over time, but still, while we might have broken our vows, lost our momentum, forgotten to maintain a new habit, or just given up, there was something that compelled us to make that vow or commitment in the first place. Everything we do or don't do is motivated by some vision, some dream, some goal, whether or not it's articulated, acknowledged, or set intentionally. Something motivates us, be it a habit, a commitment, peer or societal pressure, survival. Even when we break our vows or fail at following through on some resolution, something of that motivating vision or inspiration or intention remains, no matter what. And it seems to me that unless we intentionally do some kind of reset or reboot, or maybe as Anne Lamott suggests, unplugging, we continue to be motivated by things that might not align with our current values and might not be in service of the good. Now here's a story from my life, albeit from long ago in a land far away. If I were on a screen, you would begin to see the screen get fuzzy and things start to roll backward in time. I was just out of university, in a new job, in a new city, and in a relationship with someone who really wanted me to be athletic and thin. Now, out of a motivation to please my partner, I became a runner. Now, mind you, I've never been athletic. My body type was never meant to be svelte. Endorphins don't seem to entice me, and running was really not a very interesting endeavor. But still, I ran every morning. I can't remember how long it lasted, but let's just say that it seemed like forever. And then one morning, halfway around the park where I ran, I just stopped. I sat down on the grass and just sat there. And when I could gather myself up to stand, I did, and I walked back to my apartment. I've never run again. Now, some hearing this story would focus on the resolution I made at the beginning of that process, and then on how I'd broken that vow. To be completely honest, at the time, I too saw it as a failing, a lack of commitment. And isn't that the ubiquitous message? You make a resolution to change, and when you fall short, then the best use of time is to bludgeon your self-esteem, telling yourself you're lacking in willpower, a worthless slug. Now, okay, please, if you're doing that, cut it out. Berating ourselves for not keeping our resolutions is not a good use of time or energy. A blogger and author that I follow, Courtney Martin, wrote last week about resolutions and said, "The reason the turn of the calendar year is such a wildly popular time to start and then not stick with new diets, new exercise regimens, new skincare routines is because someone profits off of our collective delusion that these things will make us happy, healthy, and complete," unquote. Now, this is not to say that there's anything wrong with diets, exercise regimens, and new routines, nor is it to say that we should never act in service of someone else's vision, but rather to say that to truly become happier, healthier, and more complete, we each need to do some very real self-reflection about who we are and what we need, and to ask, in whose interest are we making those resolutions? What's compelling us to do it? I hope it goes without saying that products and costly programs that benefit the machine are not necessarily the answer. I hope it also goes without saying that many, if not all, of the greatest visions, those that change the world for the better, are made in service of other beings or the planet itself. Resolutions are not inherently selfish. Self-reflection is not inherently only self-serving, and yet it is in that self-reflection that we can find a name where life's juiciest opportunities lie. We make promises, vows, commitments, covenants, resolutions, because of something that's important to us, a relationship, a mission, the natural world, health, a community. This is why we make resolutions. And maybe when we don't follow through on a resolution, it's because it's not connected deeply or intentionally enough to something that truly matters, to our highest values and wishes. What if naming what we know to be true makes it possible for us to envision and create what we wish to be true? And that's why I included Anne Lamott's words in the service today. There is so much comfort, at least for me, in her encouragement to get real. We are screwed up, stingy, broken, and oh so wonderfully human. What we know, what Lamott says is perhaps the most true, is that everything is a paradox. Shit really hurts when it's ultimately also beautiful and teaches us important things. We're broken by grief, and yet our tears baptize us and water the ground we walk on. We walk on holy ground. This is what's real. Looking back on the story I told earlier, however piddling it is in the big picture of my life, I can see that that moment when I stopped and plopped down on the grass was the true moment of resolution. That's when I came to terms with what mattered to me and recognized that I was not running in order to be true to myself or to live an authentic life. So how do we want to live? How do you want to live? Who does UUCW want to be? This is the work of resolutions and setting vision to help us answer those questions. This is why we spend time in reflection to assess where we're at and where we want to be and to do a reset of our values and intentions. What if resolutions could act as lodestars or bellwethers and were always there guiding us? And what if we were truly empowered to determine the direction of our lives? Taking my cue from Anne Lamott, here are a few things I know to be true as of today, at least about resolutions. Number one, the best resolutions get downright real. They require us to know ourselves and to know our unique motivations. Self-reflection is indispensable. Gazing at one's navel for a while helps us to find our truth so that we can use what we've learned to determine how to act and what to do. Getting real is about, again in Ellen Bass's words, holding life like a face between your palms, a plain face with no charming smile and no violet eyes, and saying to life, yes, I will take you just as you are. Number two, being human eats resolutions for breakfast. No resolution will ever make us other than human. No resolution will fix or perfect anything. We will fail, we will forget. That's part of what's real, and that's okay. Number three, I'll take equanimity, acceptance of myself and who I am, over resolutions to change any day. But the paradox is that I'll never fully accept myself if I'm not forever in the process of learning and growing and changing. As I've heard it said, God loves us just the way we are and loves us too much to leave us that way. Number 4, being authentically who you are. Indeed, being the best of who you are is not something that's done once and done. It's not just done on January 1st until January 4th. It's an ever-evolving, ongoing process of spiraling out into the world, trying new things, building new skills, returning to find comfort in the known and the familiar, reassessing, reconnecting to what matters, and going out into the world again. It's spending time in and creating relationships within communities that support you in being yourself and who challenge you to examine and re-examine your intentions and values. It's about being willing to continue to enter that cycle of falling down and getting up, running for your life, and then savoring moments in the grass, and then doing it again and again, all in the service of finding that juicy sweetness that lies within each of us and within life itself. Number 5, making resolutions is something that we do every day and in every moment. As we examine what gives our lives meaning and purpose, they don't need to be some big life and direction changing initiatives, but they have a great purpose as ongoing, ever-evolving corrections and reminders that guide us. Now, sure, the turning of the year provides a moment to mark the time, to take note, and we shouldn't miss the invitation presented by the calendar to do that. And yet, that invitation is always there. Every morning when we look ahead into our day, every time at the dinner table with family or friends, every Sunday here at UUCW, every night as we tumble into bed, there's an invitation to take an assessment and to consider what matters and to resolve to tweak or change or continue something so that it best aligns with our deepest, truest, juiciest selves. Selves are themselves a paradox, perfect enough just as we are, and always possible to improve upon. So, despite broken vows, maybe what we need to resolve is to accept our beautiful, flaw-filled humanity, trusting in life to be there for us each time we fall, and there for us each time we get up and try again. That's what's real. That's what's true. So, welcome to the human race. The ground we walk on is indeed holy. Come, yet again come. And may we go gentle into this new year. May it be so. Amen.
And my mask is down, and my pronouns are she and his. UU Church West Split the Plate program is one of outreach and generosity. Each month we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our UU values and serve our community. Our Split the Plate partner for January is the Women's Center of Waukesha. Is it off? Now there's a green light. Oh, is that better? You know, I thought my voice is so loud that probably people can hear me even without it. I was never told to speak up as a child because it just wasn't necessary. The Women's Center provides safety, shelter, and support to empower all impacted by domestic violence, sexual assault, child abuse, and trafficking. Founded in 1977, they were the first and continue to be the only agency of their kind in Waukesha County. Here are some actual written testimonials from clients read by volunteers.
The services provided for my children were outstanding. They felt loved and were so happy. All of you here have been truly amazing. My children and myself have never been around so many people that were so caring and supportive.
Know that the work you do touches the lives of many more than you directly serve.
Your hotline saved my life on a number of occasions. Thank you.
Your support improved my hopes, stimulated my strength, and helped me set goals.
I am most thankful for the roof over our heads and the food in our mouths. I can honestly say you all were my angels.
Had it not been for your guidance and support, I would be one of the silhouettes on your front lawn, representing the lives that had been lost to domestic abuse. Thank you for the hope of a better future.
The work you are doing makes a difference. This place makes a difference. It gave me a new life. It gave me a healthier way to live. It gave me a safe place to fall. I wouldn't be here today without the Women's Center.
Very moving. To help support the Women's Center, you can go to the UUCW website's Donate tab and click on Split the Plate from the menu provided. Or you can text or mail your donation today using the information found here. I thank you for your generosity to the Women's Center, and we will now gratefully accept your offering.
Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow make us one. Kin to all that lives and dies, love calls us home. Love calls us home. Words and deeds of those before us waken here to keep us strong. Blend our voices in the chorus of creation's living song. Courage bids us lift our eyes upward to the shining skies. Hope calls us on. Hope calls us on.
As we prepare to end our worship, I want to leave you with some wise words by my colleague, Mark Bellatini. Resolutions, intentions, growing, transforming, these are things that we hopefully do as individuals, of course, but are also things that we must do as a community in order to remain relevant and alive. Colleen began our worship with some words about UCW's commitment to anti-racism work, and Reverend Bellatini's words put a small but significant end cap on what we've shared today. For religion to be significant, it has to provide more than the comforts of community. It also has to provide opportunities for deepening, for what I call spiritual growth, and for the casting down of false images and stereotypes which hurt us all. A good religion has to open us to the real diversity of our modern world. For our work as liberal religious people is not to be competitive with others and to find ways to supersede others, but rather to find ways to supersede ourselves, to grow beyond our limitations and our constrictive boundaries, each and every one of us. Diversity, you see, must not end up being some sort of feel-good slogan, a word we keep in our back pocket to make us feel like we're broad-minded. Diversity is a gift, but it cannot be a gift unless it's received. And it's only received when there are hands and hearts open enough to receive it, and the opening of fists into welcoming hands and welcoming hearts is our spiritual work. Indeed, our spiritual work is opening our hands and our hearts and saying yes to life and to love. You just heard Ruben playing and singing the song we're all about to sing. It's Jason Shelton's Life Calls Us On, a new song for many of you. The words are printed in the order of service. And before we sing, there are a couple of things I'd like to share about Jason. First, he is a brilliant composer with 3 powerful songs to his name in our Teal hymnal. And second, while he used to be a UU minister, he resigned his ministerial fellowship in 2019 while apologizing for harm he'd done within his congregation. He then expressed hopes for restoring right relationships with his colleagues and with our faith. Such forthrightness calls us to examine our own actions, our intentions, our responses, and ultimately calls us to recommit to life and to love, knowing that they will always be there for us, holding us. Even when we fail, we can return to our best intentions and come, yet again, come. So why don't you stand to sing as you're able and then remain standing for our closing words.
Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings they have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey
Please remain standing. Here we are, dreaming of the good that yet shall be, seeing the bright path before us, rising to meet the love, the faith, the life that is calling us. Take a look around. Give thanks for whatever inspiration or comfort or connection you found here, and for all the hands and voices that made this time possible. Breathing in, breathing out. Offer a prayer of gratitude for all the blessings you've been given. Our closing words are those of Steve J. Crump. That which is worthy of doing, create with your hands. That which is worthy of repeating, speak with a clear voice. That which is worthy of remembering, hold in your hearts. And that which is worthy of living, go and live it now. And taking this flame and all of this morning's experience with us, let us go out into the world and into this new year, rejoicing in our connection with one another. Amen.